Dominican Republic is a country located in the beautiful Caribbean and is rich in culture. Many Dominicans have immigrated to the U.S. Why, you may ask? The reason is in its dark history under the dictatorship of General Rafael Trujillo, or better known as El Jefe. His rule made way for the thousands of Dominicans that have immigrated to the USA. One of 11 children, Rafael was born in San Cristobal to a poor family. When he was of age, he joined the military and was trained by U.S. Marines. He rose quickly through the ranks, gaining the title General-in-Chief of the National Guard. He eventually staged a coup d'etat and became the president in 1930. The next 30 years would be described as the era of Trujillo. He renamed the capital Ciudad de Trujillo, putting his face in every house, newspaper, and landmark throughout the country. He ruled with an iron fist, allowing no political competition. With his special military unit and spies, he was able to keep control of dissenters and possible rebellions using any means necessary. Among his countless atrocities of murder, rape, and corruption during his rule, more than 20,000 Haitians have been imprisoned or killed in an attempt to whiten the Dominican Republic. El Jefe was in absolute control until a new rebellion rose. The Butterfly, led by the Mirabal sisters, were very famous in publicizing the atrocities of the president to the world. They were eventually murdered by El Jefe's men and made martyrs. Less than a year later, the Jefe was assassinated. The Dominican assassins were said to have received the weapons from the Americans. Soon after his death, the DR fell into a state of disarray. Without the grip of Trujillo's dictatorship, the country fell into a free-for-all, a primary reason for why many Dominicans left their country in search of a better life.
The greatest increase of Dominican immigration to the United States came from 1990 to 2000, where the numbers almost doubled. In 2000, there were 1.1 million Dominicans living in the United States. 63% of the entire Dominican population arrived in the United States in 1990 or later. Migration from the Dominican Republic to the U.S. primarily resulted from America's stagnant economic environment. America's large demand for unskilled labor in northeastern cities in the 1960s was also a huge opening for Dominicans to leave the DR in hopes for better and more jobs. Dominicans mostly settled in the Northeast, more specifically metropolitan areas. 48% of the Dominican population live in New York, while others settled in New Jersey, Massachusetts, and Florida. The Dominican population is the fifth largest Hispanic population in the U.S. It's been reported that they count for $193 million in annual spending and $52 million in state and federal taxes in Boston alone. Some Dominicans have immigrated to the United States in hopes to further their careers in baseball. Famous baseball players like Sammy Sosa, who began his career with the Texas Rangers in 1989. Juan Marichal, also known as the Dominican Dandy, former San Francisco Giant who is known for his high leg kick. Tony Fernandez, a shortstop who helped lead the Toronto Blue Jays to a championship in 1993. David Ortiz, also known as Big Papi, holds the Boston Red Sox single-season record for home runs in the regular season. And the Alou brothers, three Dominican brothers that played in the major leagues together. Some other famous Dominicans in the United States are prominent authors Julia Alvarez and Junot Diaz. Dominicans have also entered into the fields of design and politics, with the world-famous designer Oscar de la Renta and United States Attorney for Civil Rights Thomas E. Perez.
In the United States, some aspects of Dominican culture have assimilated into the cultural mainstream, most notably Dominican music and bodegas. In the Dominican Republic, the word bachata literally meant a party or social gathering that took place in rural areas. These were accompanied by food and guitar-based music. A bachata was a street party, and while music was a central part of it, the music itself was not called bachata. Bachata, however, even as a term for parties, had class associations. Bachata was traditionally the oral culture of the countryside. While today bachata music is danceable, it was characterized as romantic music during the formative years. The genre heard today is an urban one. During the Trujillo dictatorship, the people from the countryside were strictly limited in their mobility. Pioneers of the bachata, such as Luis Segura, Ramon Cordero, and José Manuel Calderón, sang love songs with a slow tempo, thus allowing the sobbing voice, which so characterizes bachata, as a música de amargue. A highly emotional singing style is characteristic among bachata singers. Bachata is a music dealt with themes of love, betrayal, disillusionment, and despair. The basics to the dance are a 3-step with a Cuban hip motion, followed by a tap, including a hip movement on the 4th beat. The knees should be slightly bent so the performer can sway the hips easier. Generally, most of the dancer's movement is in the lower body up to the hips. The upper body moves much less. Bachata has immersed itself into American cultural mainstream through Dominican immigrants. It is danced at many Latino festivals in the cities with large Dominican populations. It is also danced at family parties. One common influence Dominicans have in the United States, but more specifically in urban areas like New York, is bodegas. The word comes from the Spanish word la bodega, which means grocery store. Bodegas are shops on street corners in residential Hispanic neighborhoods, rather than more established corner stores along major avenues. In the Dominican Republic, bodegas were located at every corner store to serve the poor. In cities like New York City, bodegas are convenience stores that also serve that purpose and provide cheaper prices than larger retail stores. It is a place where people from the neighborhood could go over their daily news and where people become familiar with their own community. We interviewed a Dominican family from White Plains, New York. They lived in the Latino part of the city. Elsa Gomez, our interviewee, came to the U.S. in 1992. She is a mother of 2, Anna Saravino and Stephen Maranta. Anna was born in the Dominican Republic, and Stephen was born in Valhalla, New York. She speaks broken English, but in her interview, she was understandable. She came with her ex-husband, who separated the family when Stephen was very young. Elsa Gomez, now 50 years old, explained that she came to the U.S. for better opportunities. She said that she sends money home to her parents to help them financially and take care of them in any way, and that her parents also wanted her to move because they wanted more family members in the U.S. She learned English on the street, specifically from her doctor, who forced her to learn English faster. She said she is doing all right financially because everyone in the family is working, but she said it's hard to get a better job. She currently works at Burger King. A lot of immigrants like Mrs. Gomez come here for better opportunity and to help family members in the Dominican Republic financially. Sensa Puntiel moved to the U.S. with her family in 2002. They reside in Sunset Park, New York City. She describes her reasons why she came and reasons for staying in America. Everybody, all Latinos, have the idea or have dreams in this country because we believe it's progress of the person, of the family. It was a brother of mine that became a citizen and requested for me as a sibling. Through the sibling, the family comes. And since I am the sister, through me came Victorino and our kids.
Porque yo era la hermana, pero a través de eso, entonces venía Vitorino y los hijos.
It was necessary to do it, because one has to seek the family's well-being. It's necessary so that the family can be educated. It's necessary to be here. Not everyone has the opportunity. and many would like to be here, but can't be.
Muchos lo desearían estar aquí, pero no pueden.